All right, guys, let's check out another Oris. This is the Big Crown ProPilot Big Date. Some of that's a little confusing. Yes, there is a big crown. It's a 7.5mm crown. That is a pretty big crown. Big date, however, yes, the date is larger than you would typically see on a regular dated watch, but it's not a traditional big date. So typically in the watch world, when you hear big date, you'll have two disc in there and they're really big, and you'll have one for the larger number and then you'll have one for the single digit number, if that makes sense. Look up watch big date and you'll see what I mean. Maybe I'll put a link in the description if I can find one. Anyway, for this Oris, sure, it's a big date. Sure, it's a big crown ProPilot. All that is true. What we're looking at, though, is I think they claim it's like a 41mm case, but the case actually kind of flares out, right? Kind of like the Aquas does, but less dramatic. And I measure 40.75, so I guess we'll call it a 41. I'm good with that. 49 lug to lug. You can see this kind of like turbine or engine turned almost bezel is pushed down into the lugs a little bit. Pretty much all brushed, polished up top, polish relief on the bottom. Very, very everyday-ish type watch. 12.5mm thick, that's including the double dome sapphire crystal, and then a display case back. 20mm lug width. There is a ton of colorways for this, and a ton of different strap options. This one's obviously a canvas with a leather back, and a very cool milled out clasp that is kind of like a seat belt type thing that you would see like on an aircraft. It's just cool. I'm really digging that. That is different, fun, and works great. Very comfortable. We'll do a wrist shot in a moment. This movement in this one is the Sellita SW220. And then, of course, Oris had to modify it, meaning that they put their red rotor on the back, and then they equipped it with a larger date wheel. So it is modified. There's a huge long part number for this. When we talk Oris, we don't talk part numbers. However, they're so deep, like even with this Oris Big Crown ProPilot Big Date, there's a date model, there's a this date model. There's actually, I looked up the differences too, and I can't remember what they were. I think they like applied indices or something. There's like even two different variations of this kind of model. So this one does retail for $1,700. You're probably going to get a discount on that somewhere. This was loaned in directly from Oris, so big thanks, Oris, for doing so. Let's take a closer look at that beautiful blue dial, and then you'll notice those Arabics are actually applied. So that is pretty cool. And then when we do the loom shot, you'll notice it is BGW9 loom. Excellent polished handset. Nice white tip on the seconds hand. Super legible. This watch screams everyday wear because it is super legible. It's mostly brushed. It's going to wear good, look good, easy to read. Plus you have your date option. Hey, there's my reflection for all the people that think they've never saw me on video. I've been on video many times. Nice signed crown. Also matching the turning that is on the bezel is also on the crown and on the case back. So it all ties together. 100-meter water resist. It is a screw down crown. You can see it says front sapphire. So I'm guessing the back is not sapphire. There's a closer look at that clasp system. This is like spring loaded. You can see the little spring down in there. I don't want to pull it back too far. So when you lift it up, it just releases those. All right. Let's put this on wrist so you can see what it looks like on my 7 1/4 inch wrist. And yes, I was wearing the other, or one of the other Oris that was sent in, the titanium Aquas. Absolutely love that watch. I would like to see this Oris Big Crown Pointer Date on the metal bracelet. As comfortable and as nice as this is, obviously I prefer metal bracelets over this, but I could see where this would be nice to have additionally. I would probably buy it on bracelet, but then also have a strap option for it. Absolutely perfect on wrist, guys. For my 7 1/4 inch wrist, it just, yeah. This is easily a legit everyday non-diver, just regular sport watch. I could see where a lot of people really gravitate towards this model or the day-date model or whatever variation you pick, whatever color, all of that. Strap options, bracelet options. I get the draw to it for sure. So let's kill the lights. Check out the lume shot on this. And you'll see they did a nice application of BGW9. Easily legible in low light situations. They loomed the applied indices, the printed on markers just outside of those, and tons of real estate on the hour and minute hand. I don't really see loom on that tip of the seconds hand. So that white on there must be just paint, or it's a very, very faint application of BGW9. I don't see it to the naked eye. All right, guys, thanks for watching. I'll catch you on the next vid.